Yeah, we've got Mike here, and appreciate you being down here. And
Thank you, Jake.
Give it to us.
It's great seeing, we don't get to do this much very often. Before COVID, I was on the road probably 40 weeks out of the year. And so I did a lot of traveling. And, since COVID, that changed. And of course, since this, it's changed a little bit for me. But I'm thrilled to be back out again. Seeing people live makes a difference. It's tougher now. It cost me nearly an arm and a leg to get down here. But
Only an arm.
But I want to get you guys, for the holidays, I want to get you started off on the right foot. For me, it'd be the left, right? So let's jump in with both feet. If you got them. But no, Jake's, you guys have been killing it. And, what Jake said about other distributors and people have picked it up and they're getting the same traction you guys did. We're really grateful to Jake and Richard, of course, and the whole team, because what you guys have done has made some noise with people that he, talks with a lot. And there's a bunch of little clicks in the distributor world. Dennis remembers how this was when he was on the distributor management side as well. But now it's a little different than it used to be. And but going into November, December, I think we've been conditioned in our careers, at least I was, and I started in 1986. From the very beginning, the guys that were training me were telling me that November, December, don't expect a lot, not a lot of new doors being open, everyone's got all their clients coming in, everybody's busy, right? That's what happens. And plus, when you go in and talk to the salons and stylists, what do they all say to you when you want to pitch something new in November, December?
Not now.
And wait till after the first of the year, right? Let me get through the holidays, right? And it makes sense, right? It makes sense, but there's a lot of things as business people, which is what all of you are, I think really need to keep in the forefront of your thinking as you approach this season, but it's also things I think you need to communicate to your salons and stylists as well. So, the final stretch, November, December, what does it mean, right? This is when the average stylist sees the greatest percentage of their client book compared to any other time of the year. Everybody gets their hair done over the holidays, right? Holiday color, holiday cuts, holiday whatever, everybody's getting their color done. So stylists see a larger percentage of their client book in those 2 months than any other time of the year, right? The other thing that's going on is those clients are all in impulse buying mode. We've been conditioned since birth to start buying things for the holidays early, and it gets earlier and earlier and earlier, right? In August, they had Christmas stuff up in our grocery store, I think.
Right.
So it's crazy, right? Now the reason they're doing that, by the way, is because retailers, which is what all of your accounts should be, right? And what you guys really are. Retailers make a disproportionate amount of their revenue in the last 3 months of the year than any other time. So many of these big department stores, they stay open the fourth quarter. They're losing money for 9 months out of the year, and they make all their money in the last 3. So, and there's a reason for that, right? People are in holiday mode, right? So you've got that going on. My God, I can't even see this thing. 43% of their customers, oh, but I got this too. 43%, I don't even need binoculars. 43% of our customers start their holiday shopping, right? Impulse purchases increase proportionally, and gifting is shifting. So a lot of things that are happening now in purchases is wellness and experiences are growing in popularity, okay? And so that's the category you guys all live in, is wellness, right? When you think about beauty and wellness, it's all interrelated. So all of these things are happening at the same time. So what does all this mean? Well, potential opportunities do exist, even for intros, right? And it's a weird thing to think about people buying intros, but when you think about all those other things happening this time of year, it's a perfect time to at least pitch the opportunity, because the worst they can do is say no. If you don't pitch it, it will never happen, right? And so salons and stylists need help with revenue probably more than ever, right? All of you that have been doing this for longer than I have, they need help now more than ever. But where do they get it? They weren't taught it, right? They're not going to seek it on their own. So it really falls into the hands of you guys as their consultants. And that means your competition is all the other salespeople that are backing up, coming after you or before you in your territory, right? So your competition is against the people that you're selling against, and most of these people go in with a deal book and say, hey, happy holidays, oh, what do you do for Christmas, blah, blah, blah. That's fine, have that stuff, make the small talk, but your job is to sell, and you guys don't eat if you don't sell. You need sales and revenue, right? Yeah, that's it, I didn't know this thing. So what are the two things this time of year, what are the two things that might make a salon and stylist spend more money than they normally do? What are two of the things that might make them do that? Savings and profit, right? So if there's sufficient enough savings and sufficient enough profit potential, if you can convince them to even think in those terms, higher client count, we got that going on. We got impulse buying habits with those clients, we got that going on. We got increased product exposure to those clients who are in greater numbers, who are impulse buyers, and we're increasing exposure to them if we're doing it right. And then we add savings on top of it. All of that should equal increased sales and profit. Make sense?
Yeah.
So try and have this kind of conversation, not necessarily word for word, but in this thought process, because you're going to have to think of different opportunities or different reasons for people to buy this time of year than it might have happened in February or March or June or whatever, right? And so intro opportunities. You know, I talked to Jake beforehand, and you know, it's tough to do anything in November, December for salespeople to, you know, get them motivated, and everybody's throwing money at you guys throughout the year, and you know, spiffs don't always make you a better salesperson necessarily. It might make you focus on something. So you really have to think about how you're pitching things and your frame of mind when you talk to these people. So you've got intro opportunities for existing Boca retailers, obviously. Get them an opportunity to significantly boost their sales and significantly boost their profit this time of year, knowing all of those other factors are happening at the same time. More clients, impulse buyers, greater exposure, greater visits, greater potential for sales, right? For existing Boca users, there's users who don't retail. That's probably the majority of your Boca customers, right? We know that it's like beating a dead horse in some cases to some of these people talking about retail. Part of it is we shouldn't probably use that word. We probably shouldn't use the word sales. Probably shouldn't use the word profit, things of those nature, if we're trying to talk somebody into doing something they've never done before. But things you can talk about are the fact that every single person that walks into that salon, no matter what their demographic, pretty much every day they're using shampoo and sometimes a conditioner and typically styling products. So that means consumption is never going away, right? Regardless of the economy, regardless of wars, regardless of fear, anything else, consumption is never going away. The only thing that changes is where people choose to buy products, right? And the mantra of online being the big bad place that ruins salon business is long over. It's a non-issue. Most of your younger stylists that are coming up, probably below the age of 30, they don't even know what diversion means. Because when they were growing up in a shopping cart, when their mom was grocery shopping, they were walking by Pro shampoos since birth. They've been in there that long. So to them, it's just another channel of distribution. And that's how the consumer sees it. So the consumer, salon client, they buy based on individual reasons for each person that cause them to choose one source over another, right? But we know that if I own a business, I'm a stylist, I own a salon, whatever, right? And I have a captive audience, people are walking into my door, not knowing what they're gonna spend the minute they walk in, because it's all dependent on the conversation with me, what they see, blah, blah, blah. They don't know what they're gonna spend, but they know they're spending money, right? So it's an open-ended possibility of money that they spend. So as a stylist or a salon owner, we all know that pretty much all you have to do is expose them to the product. This is what I've been talking about with distributors and salespeople for a year now. Is forget trying to talk about magic ingredients and potions and technology and all that kind of stuff. And I don't even forget it totally, but really all you got to do as a salesperson is try and start the conversation, right? So one of the examples I've used before, which you've heard, for Boca in particular, is you walk in and say, hey, you know, you're not selling a brand or nothing. Who wants to see the latest alternative to argan oils? Oh, what? There's an alternative to argan oil? Oh, God, wait till you see this Abyssinian stuff. You pull out the Abyssinian candy oil, you put it on their hands, and oh my God, it smells amazing. Oh, come here, Betty, let me put this. You know, that's how people sell products, right? And so product exposure really is the key, and just having a conversation starter is the key to product exposure when you're in there as a salesperson. That Abyssinian example was I think a good one. And it's one I would use, and you know, the hairspray one we'd use too, right? Walk in with the 2 giant cans of hairspray. When's the last time you saw, you know, 2 giant cans of hairspray this big? And oh my God, let me see that thing. Oh, spray it, wait till you smell it. And boom, you're not telling what's in it, you're not talking about color lock complex, all these things are important, but those are things that you use to reinforce that product and hopefully go deeper into the brand once you place that initial seed, right? So my philosophy has always been go wide before you go deep. Open up as many doors as possible before you go deeper in that salon within the brand or the range or what have you. This time of year is a little bit different, right? So most people don't go out with the intention of selling intros, but we think there is an opportunity for both the existing retailers, the existing users that don't retail yet, so you can try and maybe talk them into just a collection. They can start retailing with just holiday duo boxes, for example. It's a great little door opener. Hey, you want to try something new for your clients? You got a lot of dry clients, right? This moisture line is amazing. Buy a few of these duos, stick them up on the counter, see what happens, you know? Prospects, the same thing. All of those things, they have more money to spend. All of your accounts have more money to spend this time of year than at any other time of the year because of all those other factors. They're seeing more clients this time of year, and they're seeing more chemical services this time of year. And so for prospects, they exhibit the same impulse buying behavior that their clients do and that consumers do, right? And so take advantage of that. You have to expose them to products. And it's not pitching a brand. You're not trying to get them to retail something today. Just trying to plant a seed with a product that you know is going to work, that they're going to like more often than not, that has a chance for repeat for you. Because then when you do that and you walk in and they say, man, I'd like to buy some of that stuff, right? You know, you like it so much, you put it on everybody. Why don't you pick up another 6, you know, just stick them on your station there and run percentage off, you know, whatever. That's how it starts, right? And you're not really trying to get them to invest in a retail brand. You're just trying to get them to make a little more money. That can be thrown at the end. Because I don't think most stylists, I make these statements, it's not all encompassing, but I don't think many stylists care that much about profit. I think they live day to day, they love running their business, it's a social life for them, it's their life, right? But very few of them, I think, especially the suite renters nowadays, are concerned too much about profit, things like profit. And so as much as I talk about business conversation, it's really more a mindset for you guys than it is to have conversations, unless you run into that one, like the salon that we worked on with my previous brand, you know, right. She was a sharp lady, she knew her stuff, and she was a commissioned salon owner, one of the dinosaurs, and that's somebody that's a little bit different. Don't be afraid to price ladder in these salons too. So if you have brands in salons now, and you're worried about cannibalizing that business by introducing Boca, start talking to your salons about price laddering, having 3 price categories of everything that they offer. Not just retail, but services as well. Imagine if every one of your stylists subscribed to a price ladder for all their services, you'd be selling every account 3 brands of color. You'd be selling at least 3 brands of retail. You know, all of this. This is how really you guys should be thinking long term to try and really cultivate your business, regardless of the branding. So holiday duos, thanks for bringing those up. This is another great new door opportunity that's very non-threatening. So you're not asking for a lot of money. So they can buy these things now, these duos or these intros. And again, they got all these clients coming in November, December. Great time for them to try these things out, right? They get much greater feedback and it helps them make a decision of maybe things they want to do in the new year. And think of this too. When's the last time you walked into a salon and they said, hey, tell me what's old? Everybody wants to know what's new, right? So new year, new look, new product, new mindset, new profit, etc. This is the messaging I think you guys should take down to your salons. And whatever you do now, remember, in November, December, that's a wider base of business in Jan, Feb for you guys to build up, as opposed to not opening up new doors. Everybody you're selling to has been pitched to by everybody you can think of for years, decades, right? They've seen every pitch known to man. So the minute you walk into a salon, what happens? Whether it's a prospect or an existing account, in terms of their internal thinking, body language, whatever. It's exactly right, because they know that your job is to go in there and take their money.
Right.
They don't have any money, but they know they got to spend it to make it. They need products. These are their supplies, right? So the challenge is when you go in and try and make a brand pitch, that gets even, I believe, stronger nowadays because it's a much more sophisticated buyer. Yeah. And the younger generation, they just plain don't want to be sold. They want to pick shit off, off of TikTok, social media, whatever, and that's fine, but there's, you guys have to find a different way to get through those people. So for me, if I am going to make a pitch, if I've already talked to somebody, they tried a product, and then they say, look, I want to talk to you about this brand. Tell me really quick. I like that product you gave me last week, but tell me a little more about the brand. 2 very simple points of difference: clean beauty and plant-based color protection.
And vegan.
In one product, okay? Because those 2 things, clean beauty, are typically very separate things. Plant-based, there's some other plant-based products, but nobody really has a plant-based color protect complex like Color Lock Complex. But the other thing is, it's a perfect price point. It should be selling in the high 30s, but it's at 25 to 30, so it's perfectly priced for your clients at that sweet spot, mid-range. It's not too expensive, not too cheap. Plus, a lot of your clients that were buying that stuff above $30, they can't afford it anymore. Remember, we live in an aspirational purchase world. People don't need the things we buy or we sell, because anybody can go to a grocery store and get their color done. We all know this, right? So there's always a cheaper option. Salons, consumers don't need what we sell. Most beauty is done over the grocery store shelves. off of beauty supplies. Most color's still done at home. And so the challenge I think we face is simply exposing these people to the brand and then going one step further. So I'm going to talk about, clean beauty. Yes, vegan, of course, is an important thing. And basically everything on the front of every single bottle of product gives you all your bullet points. Yep. Vegan, gluten-free, color lock complex. That's what that whole thing is. It's a walking billboard for the brand. And that applies to everything. The other thing about clean beauty, there are other companies that call themselves clean. Clean doesn't mean paraben-free. Clean doesn't mean sulfate-free. Clean means that you are consciously eliminating dangerous or potentially dangerous chemicals. And Boca uses the European standard, which is the most strict in the world. Educate your people and explain what clean means to them. I believe you will have much more success placing seeds for the brand by trying to expose them to the winning products and then following up afterwards. Because I don't believe the 5-minute elevator pitches work anymore. Not as much as they did.
Is it available online anywhere?
Yeah, sure. It's on Amazon, but it's $1 more than retail. And it's on Boca's website, but it's $1 more than retail.
And they're not going to come in and set up your display like I'm going to come in.
Well, not just that. It doesn't get more convenient than when you're walking out of the salon. So all these people that say, I buy from Amazon because it's convenient, no, they buy from Amazon because they went out between salon visits and the salon never gave them a reason to buy it in the salon.
Correct.
And so again, sometimes it's just availability that is needed to make a product sell. It's exposure. Because again, remember, those clients walk into the salon, they don't have to be in that salon. They don't have to spend that money. So this thing that, they're not buying salon products because they're so expensive. Yes, that's not it. Now, granted, everyone's not going to buy it, but I guarantee you, I don't care if it's the cheapest salon Supercuts, I guarantee you there's probably 20% of clients that go to a Supercuts that would buy a product that they were given a reason to do so.
A promotion, stack them high.
Whatever it is, even just an island, or even if it was just, I'm using this on you, and I say, my God, and don't put it on the station, just take it in their hand and let them start reading it while I'm styling the hair. It's just, there's all kinds of old tricks we've used forever. So my point is it's different for every single place, right? But yeah, it's online. But Boca spends a lot of money and time and expense to control it online. And that doesn't happen by accident. So go on Amazon, you might from day to day see a couple of other secondary sellers, but it's a daily effort using attorneys and copyright challenges to keep the other sellers off of Amazon, because Boca's right now is not part of the Amazon protected category, because there's costs involved in that are way too expensive. Yeah. So yeah, it's online, but it's controlled. But for someone of asset, is it online? Yeah, like everything else. AminoFix, and actually, y'all know the stuff it does, right? But the thing that makes this unique about the other products within Rebond is this amino acid complex. It's the only product that has its own trademark name, if you notice, right? And the reason for that is because the big deal about this is not bond repair. It's the amino acid complex. Now, bond repair is in there, but bond repair is almost like becoming a given in many products now, right? You have bond repair in your color, you got to get out in your bleach, you got it in this, it's going into everything, right? So it's never going away. And so bond repair is going to be everywhere. And so when Rebond was launched and all of you guys went out selling it, obviously the K18 people in particular were always coming back and saying, hey, you guys got to spray. You gotta spray, you gotta spray. Mm-hmm. So they developed a spray, but rather than make it a pro spray, again, we want to put it in the hands of the clients, make it revenue potential. So especially for you guys, you sell a big pro size of something, it takes weeks or months for it to reorder. We want it to turn, right? So we want it retail and usable in a salon. But the big deal with this is this cell membrane complex that nobody's ever talked about. This really should be a bigger part of conversation when we talk about condition of the hair. Because we all talk about the cuticle, we talk about, the cortex, the medulla, everything else, but it's like in my arm, right? I've got inside here, I got bone, I got veins, and other things. What else I got? I got flesh. Well, the cell membrane complex is kind of like the flesh of the hair strand. So it's the glue that keeps all of these components together. So every day, while stylists are compromising hair with chemicals, or clients are compromising hair with hot tools and everything else, and friction and salt and everything, we're degrading that cell membrane complex as much as or more than disulfide bonds and things of that nature. And so this amino acid complex really is like turbocharging repair to the hair. It goes beyond just bond repair, and it actually helps replenish, repair, and restore the whole inside of the hair shaft. And that's, it's noticeable. And to your point, using it before chemical, when we launched this, it was unique. We launched it. We did a virtual launch, and they got their samples the Friday before the Monday. one of the sales reps was a stylist. I might have told you guys this before in another meeting. And she said, oh my God, this stuff's amazing. I had a client come in, she was colored and she wanted highlights on top of the colors, but her hair was trash. And I said, well, I'm gonna try this amino fix. So she put the amino fix on her, she left it in 4 minutes, she took it out, she put as many highlights as the client wanted. It's because she was nervous. She did a few highlights on it, said the hair felt like virgin hair. So yeah, you can use this before chemicals, you can use it after chemicals, you can use it for cuts, you can use it as a bond repair spray. It's everything. It's basically what you get when you combine an all-in-one spray conditioner with bond repair. And this extra amino acid complex is amazing. And so when you go in and you spray this, the other thing that gets them is the fragrance. They might be in a completely different frame of mind, or you might be wearing their favorite color shirt. Before the first stylist in the history of mankind sold that first bottle of shampoo, that stylist had to buy it and like it themselves first. They didn't necessarily buy it initially to sell it to other people. They bought it because they needed it to do their job. And so that's what you're selling. You're selling tools that people need to complete their work. The only question is, are your tools better than somebody else's? And better means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Could be financially better, could be flow better, could be better client retention, could be whatever, right? It's up to you guys to figure that out with each account. You can spray it on dry hair, damp hair. So the way you use this as a treatment by itself, guys, shampoo the hair, towel dry it, don't condition. It might even say it's okay to condition, but I wouldn't condition because conditioners are designed to close a cuticle. We want this stuff to get on the inside, right? So shampoo the hair, towel dry, spray it in, leave it in 4 minutes, then do what you want. You can air dry it, blow dry it, iron, whatever you want to do is fine. If you're going to use it with the mask, which is an incredible reconstructing treatment, probably outperforms anything, use a clarifying shampoo first, don't condition, put this in, leave it in 4 minutes, towel dry, put the mask on top of this, leave it in 4 minutes, and then leave the mask in and do your thing. Remember, these are both leave-in, so you don't have to rinse them either.
So that goes in before the
Yeah,
mask.
this is first, then the mask after.
So you can't spray that in and then put that on directly after, wait for it.
No, you can, but it's only going to have surface effect as opposed to internal effect.
And color, you just lightly
don't
mist it
mix
on
out
dry hair?
Yeah,
And then just apply?
So depends on how the client's trained. And it depends on what your color is. So follow the rules of your color. If you're supposed to put your color on dry hair, follow those instructions. If you're supposed to put it on damp hair, follow those instructions. If they come in pre-shampooed, like some stylists have their clients trained, you can skip the clarifier. You can just put this
That's what
on,
I'm
leave it
saying,
in 4 minutes, and then this. Again, to just open up the conversation, hey, what do you use for your bond repair treatments? And they're either going to say, what's a bond repair treatment, or they're going to tell you a brand. And when they tell you a brand, say, do me a favor, can I have your hand? You know, and just give your hand and say, can I put a little on the back of your hand? So put a little on the back of your hand, say, rub that in, tell me what you feel about the fragrance and consistency of that product compared to yours. And I guarantee you, most, or at least half, are gonna say, oh, this smells great. Oh, look how, and you notice how that absorbs into your skin and that consistency, because you guys know the consistency of K18, right? It's this chunky stuff, and the consistency of this is just creamy, beautiful, luxurious. So again, you're not saying anything about the product, you're just going physical interaction, right? Oh, that smells great. And the best part, it's about 70% less per ounce than your K18, or do your cost comparison. But for a 3-ounce airless pump, this is $22 at the salon. It retails for $44. It's an incredible price, and this is not schleppy stuff, and it deals with all 3 bond systems, the primary bond systems, disulfide, salt, and hydrogen. Okay, so sell the mask and then piggyback this in. And then the displays is going to be a constant thing. It won't always be on promo, but the displays will always be available. And then we'll probably run another promo on this stuff in Jan, Feb. The shampoo, conditioner, and the mask, and the amino fix all contain full strength bond repair technology, but it's in different percentages, right? So the shampoo and conditioner doesn't have nearly as much as the mask does. So you can't get the same repair, but you can now use the system any way you want. Shampoo mask, shampoo amino fix mask, shampoo conditioner, amino fix once a week, maybe mask every 2 weeks, whatever. You can mix and match it, knowing what all the products do, and you can rest assured that you're getting bond repair. More importantly, somebody who is maybe a 10, 20 volume client won't need the same degree of bond repair as somebody that's a higher lift client. So maybe they don't need to use the mask. Maybe they only need the amino fix and the shampoo and conditioner. Or maybe they just need the shampoo and conditioner. Because I tell you, a lot of the salespeople that tried the shampoo and conditioner told us it was the best shampoo and conditioner they ever used. So if you haven't used it, try it. Just you experience it. And I recommend that with all of your products that you can try. You're not going to put bleach on your hair, you know, I don't want to color my beautiful silver platinum color, right? I earned these things in more ways than one. Rebond, just sell the mask, piggyback this in, and we'll follow up at Jan Feb with a display deal on this.
I have to say something. I don't say this very often. You're like one of the best salespeople that I've seen. And I wish you had done the launch with this brand in the very beginning, because you totally changed my whole perspective on
Good.
how I see Boca and Rebond.
Good.
And I needed this because with the situation with some of our brands, I need new direction. And
Well, thanks for that, I appreciate it.
and I wish you would be here every sales meeting, because we
I
need a
don't
guy
come down
like
as
you.
often as I can. I don't get out of the house much, man. I love getting out of
Your
the house.
presentation woke me up, and that's what we need. A lot of times we get people in here, they just go through the motions.
Talk about the product.
You guys can read deal sheets. You gotta know how to sell stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you're also.
And that's the thing. You're talking our language. Most people up there aren't in the field.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I haven't been in the field a long time, but I started as a global distributor in 1986. I didn't know the hair business to save my life. And I was taught by one of the greatest guys I feel could have taught me, because this guy was as detailed as you could ever
you don't have to
imagine.
comment.
And that goes right up. that resonates with me so much, because I like having it. My dad was an engineering instructor. He was a dean at college, and I have an engineering brain. I like to fix things, you know? And so I like to know how things work. And so it's what kept me in the business. It makes me more passionate about it, because it's not just selling shampoo. We joke about it all the time. That's why I was on Wheel of Fortune before I lost my leg. Most of you guys know this. And when they asked me what I do, I said, I've been schlepping shampoo, Pat, for over 30 years.
I didn't hear him.
Yeah, it was May 1st, 2023. I'm not sure you can see the episode anymore.
There's a video.
And then the next day when I got home was when this tumor showed up in my leg. The next freaking day. So I was like here, but I got a cancer-free diagnosis a few weeks ago.
Like, how long have you been in the industry?
86 I started. So it'll be 40 years next year.
40 years, I thought so.
Yeah.
And we also have an exclusive with you guys.
Well, and that's the
I hear
other
a lot of
thing.
chatter.
So
and
not only do you guys have an exclusive,
Yeah.
you guys don't know, well, some of you guys might know Dave Mulholland, because he was the co-founder of Care Therapy.
Yeah.
Dave and I are like brothers, and we worked with each other since back in Alterna. You have never met a guy who was more worried about distributor happiness than anybody, and salon happiness. He takes it in the shorts on margin. He makes so much less margin than every other manufacturer I know, because he wants to keep that sweet price point for the salons and for you guys. He errs on the side of ridiculous hesitation when a distributor underperforms and doesn't want to make any waves. He hates conflict. So we just kind of roll with the punches and try and help him out and turn things around. The bottom line is, he's not after $1 million. He's not after this. He just loves what he does. Like I love what I do. And he priced things fairly. And the co-owner of Rebond, which is Dean, he's another guy. He's we're all industry vets that have been doing this for a long time that just want to keep doing it, but we don't want to work for the dark side. We don't want to work for Darth Vader, whatever you identify with that as. So for us, we're passionate about the independent salon. We're passionate about the independent distributor and salespeople. And my whole career has spent with independent businesses until they got bought out by big guys. I left Goldwell when they got bought out by Cal. I left Schwarzkopf when they got bought out by Henkel. I left Alterna when they got bought out by Jim Markham. And one thing after another. So this is my sweet spot. This is where I'm comfortable living. And this is where Dave is comfortable living. And so next year, I think you'll see a lot more. Dave just signed a lease on a brand new warehouse, 4,000 square feet. He's been subletting space. I've opened up 6 distributors for him this year, and now he's doubled his business over last year, so now he needs his own space. So he's here to stay, and he's going to be committed to you guys, and next year is going to be a hell of a year. If only you guys will go out and show this stuff.
He did something right with Boca because it's got a high repeat.
He did a lot right with Boca. Every month.
So ours, when you say clean, European.
It's clean by European standards.
Thank you, that's what.
Yeah, and all anybody has to do is Google European cosmetic regulations versus US, and they will see how ridiculously inept the United States is. But thank God for us, because we can sell anything.
The legend.
Right? Thank you guys. Put my sticks in and I'm out of here.